guys, my name is Mark and today I show you the updated Pulsar Xlite Wireless. Let's go! As I said, I have the updated Pulsar Xlite Wireless already here. That's the big version, because now we will have, or soon we will have a small version too. It's basically, in terms of shape, nearly the identical EC2 style or clone shape you already know. They started off with a white and black one, later they added a red one, and basically over the time they just improved. We started off with a Omron version, which some people told you or said that's the worst click feeling they have ever had, whatever. And step by step, Pulsar were able to just get the information from the community, rework them over and rework the products they have, and step by step, and at the end of the day they were able to improve all the products, basically or mainly in every favor or in the general favor of the consumer. And this is one great point for me to see, that there are still companies out there who are interested in what the person who is playing the mouse and in generally buying it also and not getting it for free or something is saying, talking on Twitter, for example, what they are telling, what kind of problems they have, what they would like to see in the future. And Pulsar is like doing like steps. Feels like every 6 months they're getting a new wave. Like that's new by us. Those super glides, for example. Then they made a lot of keyboards already. I've tested none of them. They have a range of pads. They reworked some pads already, and they just keep going. And not gonna lie, for me, and since the start, the Pulsar, the Xlite and the Xlite Wireless later. We started off with the Xlite, one of the very first products a company ever sent to us when we were, or the channel was very, very small, like 200-300 follower only. They just sent us, and we were like, oh wow, thank you. And we were, honestly, I was like a little bit surprised how good the product was, because this company never produced the mouse, in my opinion, or I did not know if they ever had produced something. And for a brand from Korea with some parts, or with like, which is also in the States and is producing in China, it was kind of like for me, looks a little bit difficult. I know you would say now Xenix and some other brands are in Korea too and producing in China. Yeah, but basically, in my opinion, Pulsar is one of the main brands, or for me, this time the leading brand out of Korea, because they're not just buying in a big OEM house and just like, I don't know, wherever, and produce what everyone does. They just keep doing their own stuff. It's simple, it's good quality for very fair price. So for me, Pulsar, in terms of pricing and the product, they were always very high level. It's not like you have an overpriced product. You always get a product which is fair in price with a very good or a good quality. And they just continue doing it, and they're improving. They're still improved. And I show you on this one why. Like always, we just started off with the box. I also have the red old box here. The red old box, by the way, was 58 gram. On the new box, I can't really or clearly see a claim for the weight, but the weight here is 59 gram. That's good. Believe me, that's good, because they improved a lot, and I will show you what they improved, and then you would say at the end, wow, okay, only 1 gram more, that's awesome. And honestly, you don't even feel it, because they've done more than just add some material here. So let's continue with the box. That's the old one. And when we just opened the old one, it was like this. Honestly, in one of my reviews, I told you that I thought the old red was also like limited, but I don't know. I clearly don't know, to be honest. And the new one is kind of different made. It's easier to open because the way is shorter, just made by the box. And then now you have here like the confirmation that this product is limited to 3,000 pieces worldwide. And they also reworked the general design, total design here. When it comes, the mouse is like here. You just take it out. Then you have the dongle here. Looks like this. That's the extender from USB-C to normal USB where you put the dongle in. It has a rubberized bottom, so it's kind of sticky on the desk or on your pad. And then you have a very great paracord style USB Type-C cable. I'm not gonna lie, this cable is better than some of the last gaming mice I have reviewed with those gaming cables. You know, it's kind of good, not gonna lie. And then you just put it in. USB-C is also for charging here. Step, you just put it in. This LED indicates the status of the charging. Then you just put it back and it's wireless again. It's out of the box possible wireless. It's already pre-charged. Then you open it. By the way, here normally it would be the back with the cable. Then you have a little bit or a little a small guide. This one shows you the DPI indication. It also tells you about how you see how the charging status is, how you connect it to your PC, and in general how the mouse is to use. So it's just the basics. And not gonna lie, this is one of the easiest mice or mouse, gaming mouse I've ever seen and ever had in my hand. It's just on off, and they have an easy software which I show you in a second. Some other stuff is like I posted this video here already when they sent it me today, which was very surprising for me, to be honest, and I really enjoyed it, and the unboxing was good. I told you it looks like this. It's the same thing I told you right now, and yeah, it's a great product, not gonna lie. I was kind of surprised just by comparing it with the old one. I thought, okay, it's not that much changed, but it changed a lot more than you can see just with your bare eyes. It's like I was at the end or after researching what clearly is has changed. I was like, okay, that's way more than I thought. But let's start off with some other stuff here. Like always, and I told you, we start with the box and with what has changed. And I clearly have to say they changed a lot. And one easy thing you can do is just just go to the website and check yourself what they have just done. I think pre-order started like 2 weeks ago or something like that. One thing here I want to mention is that like for me those I know pre-orders are common right now and people like pre-orders because they are like secured or have something like in the mind that they don't have stress on the day of the drop and maybe don't get one. But I don't know. For me it's like, it's a little bit shaky. Like I don't really like this pre-order system because you spend money on a product which can get delayed for like months because you don't know what happens in China with COVID or what happens in the fabric if they don't get the ICs or whatever. There's always something what can happen in the production chain, but it's okay. They just released it. It's only like 2 weeks late, I think, or 1 week late. So they're pretty good in time. It was like 1 week lockdown in China. And most of the stuff here, what I will show you was like already common knowledge. Most people were like, okay, Pulsar is just doing the old mouse they had. They just refurbish it. No, they don't really refurbish it. They just upgraded it. That's an upgrade, guys. It's a real upgrade. And they done it clever. It's like here, okay, no lag, no delay, low power. That's like, I think they claim it like just because some people had like problems with the communication line with the Hertz. They had like those problems why it's tracking, the sensor fed like off, or in general they had like tracking problems, like it was like a delay. But I think with this claim they are showing you right now that they revert this problem. I can tell you, I played Apex a little bit with this one. The tracking is totally on point. There's no problem with the tracking anymore. It feels great. And the next step is like, what are you doing with the mouse, you say? One thing I'm often talking about when I'm reviewing mouse, a gaming mouse, is like the weight, the point of the weight. Compared, for example, with a van, SUV, truck or sports car, the center point of the weight should be as low as possible and as good it could be in the mid, so that the center weight point is like here somewhere. And in this video they basically show you One thing they show you is they just close the sides. Like most people say, yeah, I don't want holes on the sides. You don't have holes on the sides. And keep in mind, it's only plus 1 gram, but it's totally closed, zero flex, awesome feeling, awesome coating. And I think they've done it right, and it's very, very well made. It's an awesome feeling now, and honestly, I have to say, this kind of improved the feeling, or this improves the feeling for your thumb and for your pinky and for your ring finger when you just grip the mouse. It's an improvement, not gonna lie. And then with the checking, they just show you that on this one, on the new one, the center point is very good made. It's in the mid, close to the mid, close to the sensor. Why? Because the battery, which was like laying on top of the PCB, like here, which made a very high point of weight, or the weight distribution went to the top and a little bit up front. It was like a little bit, how can I tell? It was like the weight was putting you down on the head, and you felt, or whilst tracking, you had the feeling that the front weight was like a little bit distracting. And here it's like very, very good balance. I don't say it's perfect balance, but it's close to the best balancing I have seen in the last days or in the last months. So it's a very good work. One thing they changed because of this is like the bottom. The bottom is now, as you can see, red. It went a little bit flatter. This red one is a little bit flatter than the right one. Also, my red copy is flatter than they say on the internet. It's like, I think, nearly 1 millimeter flatter. That's pretty good for me, to be honest. And also they improved the skates. And then you see like that's closed. Why is it closed? The battery I told you, which was like above the PCB, is now here in the back. And this made the weight center point come down and a little bit more to the back. So you don't have those heavy head tracking feeling anymore. It's more centered, way more homogene, way more in the mid, and way more enjoyable while tracking over long-term distance, even with high or low DPI. So that's also a very good point. They've just stated out here, and they revert because just of what people told them. Here you see how they close the sides. That's a pretty good made move, not gonna lie, one of the best. Then the other ones, I told you already, they just moved the battery to the back. Also very nice move. Here's one thing you think, it's maybe, I don't know if I need it. But the old one, the mouse wheel was like so flat, and the positioning was that you are often just were swiping over it and accidentally, while swiping over it, pressing it. Was a little bit, and now the mouse wheel stands a little bit more out, and how can I say, it's just like, it's nice, it's good. And so it's just standing a little bit more out, it's a little bit more pronounced, and it feels very tactile. It's went a little bit to the back or felt like it's come back more to the mid of the mouse just by got raised, I think, 1 millimeter? 1 millimeter. Awesome work. Some brainstorming were done there, and I think some people told them, or a lot of people told them, that it would be way more enjoyable, and it's good. It's a good step. They lowered the wheel quick pressure. Don't know. Can't feel it, to be honest. For me, it feels pretty much the same, not gonna lie. As for lightweight, we talked about this, 59 gram. I just measured it with my kitchen scale, and it is. And the old one, like I told you, was like 58, but on my kitchen scale it also was 59. So it's good. You get the benefit of closed sides with no holes for the same weight. Totally reworked. PCB for me still looks much the same. It only looks like they shows the more tiny SMD parts. It's like they have different sizes, and as smaller you get them, you basically need to also to change something, because often it's not the same resistor, for example, in all sizes of SMDs available. So they just reworked the PCB a little bit. I would say it looks for me on the first view, because I know the old PCB and I think it was a little bit bigger. Good made. Positioning is good. The PCB always was like not that big if you compare it to the competition. And the PCB here is like always, like last time, it's just finished with like a cover to make it dust and sweat. To save or to protect it against dust and sweat. That's very good made. PCB got a little bit thinner in my. Well, looks same, not thinner, but it's reworked for sure. Yeah, it's reworked. Completely reworked PCB. That's also very good, not gonna lie. And besides this, flagship sensor. Yeah, the sensor is still very good. It's a 3370 sensor here. It's working very well, and I think, or my honest opinion is, when those symmetrical versions, the X by square versions, are coming out, the big and the small one, in like Q2, Q3, I think those V2s get a rework and they will get called V.25. I think something like that, because I saw V.15s also in some shops, and I think you will get V2.5 with a 3395 or a totally reworked upper class model of this one for like 10-20 bucks more, just to have a better sensor and basically a better MCU then, I think. Various skate options, that's true. Pulsar is one of the companies or brands, or basically the brand who were invented the glass skates for the whole market. Some other people at the same time also worked on it, so they're not the only ones, but they are, like, for me, and right now they are the market leader in availability, in sales. I thought they sold in like 1 or 2 months over 1,000 sets of glass skates. That's kind of nice, and yeah, that's good. Here they say Ultra Crisp GMs, those 3.0 KLs. For me, those KLs are like overhyped still, or right now. I was a fan of the KLs when I were playing my Jewels, but for now, the degeneration of those KLs 8.0 is too high for me, and the click feeling after like 1 month, or like for some people even after 2 weeks, is just too mushy. It's just not good for the price. So I would prefer like good Huanos or Zippies or ZF or Japanese Omron, something like that. Or just a hotspot possibility to just change them. So that's basically it here from the side. Full customize your way. That's the software, guys. And I will show you the software now, because I think the software is a thing everyone should see. It's still the old software. If you have an old Xlite Wireless, and the latest software, you can use it. You just plug in everything like always, USB-C, and then you can just change everything. You have the debounce possibility to set to 0. That's very good. You can change different DPI stagings. You can have up to 4 DPI presets. If you use 1 DPI preset, please keep in mind, if you had 3 before and you played like the DPI preset 2 just by activating like this, and you just going down to 1, you need to activate it like here. You need to double click on it so it gets activated. You can set to 1000 Hertz. That's what you should do, because you want those 1.25 ms. People say 1 ms, it's 1.25 ms. And in my opinion, just change the lift off distance to 2 millimeters. It's way better for you. Go for 1600 dpi. That's the best setting in my opinion, just for playing this mouse with a debounce of 0. Software easy made, very good. And if you feel or think you have DPI deviations, you can just change it in 0, so in 50 steps. That's pretty good. They just invented it on the first release. There were some problems with the DPI deviations, and then they just changed the software from 100 steps to 50 steps. That's pretty good. So you can get pretty close to the DPI or the feeling you just want. Very well made in my opinion. So has even not a lot more to say. Here you see some of the black and the white version, which is like pre-orderable from today or from tomorrow, something like that. The red and the green version were the first versions. This is the limited green one, which were available for on pre-order on Max Gaming, for example. The green one looks like this. I pre-ordered this one too. This one comes with super glides. I don't know how many of them will get produced. Can't clearly say. Maybe I need to check it, but when I have it, I think I make a very short review, like 6 to 8 minutes, to just show you how awesome it is or how treasured it is. but I think it will be good. Can't imagine it will be this trash, I'm not gonna lie. Here you see all of them together on one picture. That's basically all pictures from the Pulsar Twitter page. There was no like extra file for me just for the review. Here you see the big and the small one. That's the big one. It says weight below 59 grams. That's the one which is already released, which I have here. And then in some weeks, in the months, I don't know, can't clearly say, not gonna lie, I have no information about this. There will be a smaller one, which I'm kind of hyped of, because for me the size and is just too big. The height and the positioning for my fingers for just fingertipping grip is like that. The distance between my thumb and my mouse one finger is like too far away to get a really good micro correction feeling for the movement. So I would say if it was like this, so small, the smaller one, maybe it's good. I played the Skull Mini version with wire from G-Bots for a very long time until I went over to the Hati, and I enjoyed it a lot because you get a very secure grip on it. And I hope the new wireless of this one will be as good in quality and in the latency as this one is, because this one is good in latency, and I will show you in a second, or I will tell you in a second basically, because one thing I was really into, or I'm always into, is the latency, guys, and you know this. And you know, I always reviewing and tell you the latencies. And for this, I just took out the Xtrfy M4 again, which was one of the latest, arrow-shaped mouse on the market, which I never clearly reviewed, because for me the weight close to 70 grams is just too much, not gonna lie. And also there's the glorious Model D-, which is a little bit smaller than the Pulsar. It's like just in shape, it looks a little bit smaller, but I think it's still heavier, or it's heavier for sure, but it's more bulky and uncomfortable than the Pulsar. Also, I think the small one of this will be way better to handle than this one. But I show you I tell you the latencies now. So the end or the last one here in the finish line is like the Xtrfy M4 in the wireless mode with 2 milliseconds set, which was the lowest debounce possible on my elder test, with 13.22 milliseconds and the standard deviation of 1 millisecond. The standard deviation is kind of good, so it's a very solid around 13 milliseconds mouse, but 30 milliseconds is very high. You would say, why? It sounds good. Nah, it's not that good, not gonna lie. I think close to 15 milliseconds is when you're, as an experienced player who, for example, played a Logitech product or Razer product in before, will realize how slow this is and how fast a Logitech or Razer product is. So roughly 13.5 milliseconds. The next one then would be the old Pulsar version, the old white Pulsar with the very first firmware. Never updated it on this one, and it was like 12.78 milliseconds. So roughly 0.5 milliseconds faster than the Xtrfy M4, which came out 1 year later, roughly 1 year later. Standard deviation here is kind of high, 1.8 milliseconds. But yeah, was the first try, non-updated, nothing made. Still okay. Debounce was set to 0 milliseconds, by the way, not to 2, because 0 was possible already here when I did this test. The next one would be the glorious Model D-, which was capable, or which I were able to set also to 0 milliseconds in the debounce, which came then with 12.57 milliseconds, not that fast, or not really faster than the very first version of the Pulsar, but the standard deviation is 1.5 milliseconds, which is solid. So if you're really in love with the shape and you love the glorious products, that's okay. 12 milliseconds, it's not fast, as I told you. But if you don't, if you have never played something better before, there's no problem for you, I guess. The next one then on the list is like the old red version with 0 milliseconds debounce time. It was like 12.35 milliseconds with a deviation of 1.23 milliseconds. That's kind of okayish, because this also was new firmware. But basically, I think when you have, or when you first design a product and get it to market, you just focus, or for the first product wireless, you just focus on other stuff like reliability, quality, long-term usage, all the stuff, because you just want to, you have this one shot, the first shot for your first wireless product, and you just want to make it like secure. and then you just learn out of it. And basically the V2 is what they have learned out of it. I just tested this with the on my system, and it's roughly between 10.5 milliseconds and 10.65 milliseconds. So it basically got over 2 milliseconds faster, 2.5 milliseconds faster than before. That's good. It's awesome. 2 milliseconds just by reworking the PCB and arranging some stuff new. It's kind of good. I don't know if they changed the MCU. I can't tell you. I have no information about it, but like 10 milliseconds is total okay for me. There's nothing I can complain about. And when you connect it with a wire, it even gets faster. It's 9.28 milliseconds then. Just to compare it, I also have the G Pro here, like the one of the most used wireless mouse on the market. The G Pro, just to compare, has 8.81 milliseconds to 10.5 milliseconds. That's okay. It's like 2 milliseconds, a little bit over 2 milliseconds away. It's playable, roughly 10 milliseconds is playable, I think. But keep in mind, these guys here at Pulsar, they don't have those amount of money. They don't have those long-term reliability. They're not one or maybe the biggest brand in the game for gaming mouse. They just like 2 or 3 years on the market, and they're doing very good. They improving. They're providing new stuff. They just give you opportunities to, for example, for the glass skates. They just invent, and that's good. I like this. That's totally okay, and I think they will get better on the next update. Maybe it's also 9 ms, and a year or half is 8 ms. We will see, and I hope that they improve, because they are like Pulsar. For me feels like a little driver in the market, in the scene. People see them, what they're doing, or what these crazy guys in Korea are doing right now. Ooh, glass skates, what the fuck. Some other people began to do glass skates. That's good, I like it. Good mate. And let's see what they are doing in the future. So at the end of the day, I can tell you for like 79.95 in US dollar, but like 90 euro in Europe, it's still one of the best picks out there in terms of product for the price. You can't compare it with a 100, 105 mouse, a euro mouse from another brand, or with like a 100 US dollar mouse from another brand. Sure, the Logitech is better. I'm not gonna lie, but the shape, we don't need to talk about the shape. It's not the best out there. Most people don't like Logitech, the G Pro X, just because of the shape. And if you are an EC2 shape guy, then this one is the pick right now. In my opinion, that's the #1 EC2 shape mouse, wireless, available on the market in terms of quality, latency, and price, guys. That's it for now. If you think I'm talking bullshit, please put it down in the comments below. And my cameraman is laughing. I think I just hit the point with 18 minutes totally correct. But yeah, I just want to keep you informed, guys, to see the wide, you know, more than like a product, just to understand the business, the scene, everything behind it. Why sometimes it's just better. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.